Good Saturday afternoon. It is afternoon already, everybody. I'm Ben Dorr, political director for Minnesota Gun Rights, and we've got a problem. We've got a big problem. We are only 10 days away from the August 14th primary here in Minnesota, and one of the leading Republican candidates for governor absolutely refuses to fill out his gun rights survey. In fact, it's worse than that. It's a lot worse than that because he's making bold public statements in support of gun control. Coming in, guys, coming in out of the rain. I don't know if it's raining in your part of the state. It's raining here in Northfield. There's some water on my shirt still from when I was just outside. So come on in, join us for a few minutes here, guys. We need to talk about the gubernatorial race between Jeff Johnson and Tim Pawlenty right now that's going on. We have only 10 days until the August 14th Republican primary, and we have a big problem. The problem is that Tim Pawlenty absolutely, utterly refuses to fill out his Minnesota gun rights candidate survey. He claims to be pro-gun, as they all do, like Barack Obama does. They all claim to be pro-gun. But they won't put their name on paper. What does pro-gun mean to you, Tim Pawlenty? Well, I'll tell you what it means to him. Just last night, Tim Pawlenty and Jeff Johnson faced off on an NPR radio show talking about issues that Minnesota is facing, and gun rights came up. Hello from Bruce. How you doing, Bruce? Robert says, Tim, you'll never win. Bye, Felicia. We don't know. But what we do know, guys, is that last night, Tim Pawlenty was very vocal on the NPR radio show, telling folks across the state that he's in support of banning bump stocks. He's in support of strengthened background checks or making background checks an option for gun stores to encourage people to go through the background checks system. He's in favor of more mental health gun control legislation. This is stuff Tim Pawlenty said yesterday. He's speaking out in favor of gun control and is refusing to fill out his Minnesota gun rights candidate survey. Well, now we know why. On the other hand, Jeff Johnson has been promising, screaming from the rooftops, his support of the Second Amendment. He filled out our survey 100% pro-gun, promising to veto any gun control legislation. He said no universal gun registration, no red flags orders, no mental health gun control, none of that crap. Jeff Johnson has promised in writing on paper to veto any gun control legislation. He has promised to not just pass these laws, but to fight to pass things like stand your ground law, constitutional carry. He's promised to call on the legislature and tell them to pass these pro-gun reforms. This is what Jeff Johnson has promised to do in writing, on paper, for gun owners in Minnesota. Now we have him on record. If he becomes governor, we can hold him accountable with his survey, with his signature on paper. But Tim Pawlenty, on the other hand, says, screw you, gun owners. Screw you. You'll get nothing from old T-Paw. You won't get a survey. You'll get gun control passed. These are things he's promising to do. Let me ask you a question. Did we seriously just live through 8 years of Governor Moonbeam, Marblemouth, Dayton, to have a moderate anti-gunner like Tim Pawlenty jump in the governor's mansion and work with anti-gunners to pass gun control? Is that what we've been waiting for this entire time? Is for a middle of the road moderate who's, I think we need to pass some more mental health, and I think that we should ban bump stocks and machine guns are bad and all of this crap. This is what Tim Pawlenty is saying he's going to do. And guys, for us, that is absolutely unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable. Let me know where you're watching from, guys. We have Lyle and Hillman. Danny says he didn't care much for the SOB the first time around. Yeah, guys, it's a problem. It's a problem. He's one of the leading contenders right now on the Republican side. We have just Jeff Johnson and Tim Pawlenty, and Pawlenty is telling gun owners to go pound sand. Go pound sand. And so what do? We try to give him a chance. We try to contact his campaign. Of course, we sent him a registered survey in the mail. We know he received the survey, but I'll tell you, I'll give somebody $5 if they can find me a phone number for Tim Pawlenty's campaign. If you can get me a phone number to the Tim Pawlenty campaign, I'll give you $5. I swear. Give me your address, I'll send you $5. You can't communicate with the guy. He's got no physical address for his campaign on his website. The address he does have on there goes to a UPS box. There's no email address for you to send an email to communicate with the guy. There's no phone number on his website, on his Facebook page, or anywhere else for you to talk to a staffer on his campaign. No, Tim Pawlenty simply has millions of dollars stuffed in his pockets, and he's just going to put out mailer after mailer and radio ad after radio ad and TV ad after TV ad and hopefully saturate the state enough that he lands himself in the governor's mansion. And all of you guys, you can all go pound sand. That's what you can do. You can line up and vote for T-Paw because that's what he wants you to do. It's absolutely unacceptable. We did not sit here and live through 8 years of Governor Mark Dayton just to have a middle-of-the-road, moderate thug like Tim Pawlenty hop on NPR News and say, I'm going to pass bump stocks, I'm going to pass mental health, gun control legislation, I'm going to strengthen the background check system. Is that what we want for Minnesota? That's the question of the day, you guys. We need Tim Pawlenty to sign his gun rights candidate survey. If he's going to sit there and pretend to be pro-gun, if he's going to sit there and pretend to be a supporter of the Second Amendment, he at least needs to put his name on paper and answer the questions, answer the survey. It's a short survey. It's only 8 or 9 questions long. It's not difficult. It's not difficult, but he is refusing to fill out the survey, refusing to fill it out. On the other hand, again, Jeff Johnson, all he's been saying for months is, I will veto all gun control legislation and I will pass pro-gun bills. That is the promise from Jeff Johnson in writing, on paper. You can call the guy, you can email the guy, he's on Facebook, you can chat with him personally if you want to. That's what Jeff Johnson is doing to make himself available to grassroots gun owners. That's what Jeff's doing. Filled out his survey, makes himself available for questions to communicate with grassroots folks like you and me. On the other hand, Pawlenty is saying, go pound sand. I don't want to talk to any of you lemmings. I don't want to talk to any of you weak, dirty, hairy, unwashed. I'm Tim Pawlenty, don't you know? I'm the guy from K Street. I'm the guy who went to D.C. and made like $10 million. But don't worry, I'm back in Minnesota. I'm ready to rule. I'm ready to make sure you guys get what's coming to you. This is what Tim Pawlenty is promising now. And to us, folks, that's absolutely unacceptable. It's absolutely unacceptable. Again, we did not just live through 8 years of Governor Dayton being the radical, psycho, crazy dude that he is. Crazy. The guy can hardly talk, but he's been our governor for years. Now is our chance to get somebody in the governor's office who will actually fight on behalf of gun owners. And the surveys tell the tale, folks. The surveys tell the tale. Thomas Barrett says Jeff Johnson is a buffoon. Well, Jeff Johnson is the only person who filled out the Minnesota Gun Rights Candidate Survey. So how about that? To us, Jeff Johnson is the pro-gun candidate off the bat. I'll tell you that right now. Just last night, Tim Pawlenty is on NPR News saying we need to ban bump stocks, we need to pass mental health gun control. He's been making these statements for a long time. Google it. He's been saying this stuff for days and days. He's, I mean, really unbelievable. Let me tell you. I'll just throw this out there. Let me tell you what happens with a Tim Pawlenty governor. And the next time a mass shooting happens somewhere in America, when everybody's screaming for gun control and we have Tim Pawlenty in office, let me tell you what happens to Minnesota. Minnesota turns into Florida. Republican House, Republican Senate, Republican governor passing red flags gun control, waiting periods, raising the age from 18 to 21, and more. That's what happened in Florida after a mass shooting under Republican House, Senate, and governor. Gun control is what we're going to get. Because let me tell you, when you have a Republican up there as governor going, we need to pass gun control. When Dayton does that, well, gun owners say, go pound sand, Dayton. And on occasion, you might get one quisling politician in St. Paul to say, we're not going to do that, Dayton. You're a Democrat. We're Republicans. We can't pass gun control. You know what you got when you have a Republican like Tim Pawlenty in office and the call for gun control happens? Deals get made. Deals get made, and you suffer. Our gun rights get flushed down the toilet. Tim Pawlenty gets a notch on his shoulder here, and our gun rights suffer as a consequence, and they will pass gun control unless we can stop it. Tim Pawlenty will not be a force to stop gun control. They'll do what they're trying to do in Ohio. John Kasich, Republican supermajorities in the House and the Senate out in Ohio, and they've been fighting like mad dogs to pass red flags, universal gun registration, and more. That's what they've been doing now for they did all last session, and they're doing it now. Republicans trying to pass this gun control. Gun owners are the only ones stopping them. In Illinois, Bruce Rauner, same thing. Red flags passed. In Vermont, Governor Phil Scott, NRA, A-rated, Republican governor of Vermont, bans bump stocks, raises the age from 18 to 21 to buy a firearm, passes universal background checks, and bans all magazines above 10 rounds. Republican Governor Phil Scott. This stuff is happening nationwide. It's been happening for a long time. And if we get a Tim Pawlenty who refuses to stand up for gun owners, if he refuses to fill out his survey, if he refuses to draw a hard line in the sand like Jeff Johnson has done, Minnesota, under Republican House, Republican Senate, because let me tell you, they haven't done anything. They have not done anything for gun owners in years, okay? We've got nothing out of our pro-gun majorities in St. Paul. In fact, all we've gotten is attacked by Speaker Doubt, attacked by his leadership team, by anti-gun Republican legislators. All gunners have been as attacked by them for the last 2 or 3 years running. So let me tell you what happens, again, with a Republican House under Kurt Doubt's leadership, a Republican Senate under Gazelka, always the prey, never the predator, Gazelka. And Tim Pawlenty, it's going to be an all-out fight to stop gun control because Tim Pawlenty is telling gun owners that he's going to pass gun control. He's okay with bump stock bans. He's okay with all of this gun control. Shane, please do us a favor and stop spamming the comment section. That would be great. We would appreciate it. Guys, I'm asking you right now, send a message. Well, you can't send a message. You can't send a message to Tim Pawlenty because he has messages turned off on his Facebook page. You can't send him a message on Facebook. So we're asking you guys to go comment on his Facebook page. There's a link right above here. Just a minute. Shane, we got to get Shane banned here, folks. That's what we got to do. We got to ban Shane from the comments section because this guy is simply spamming the comment section with no comments, just nothing. Shane, time for you to go bye-bye. Hold on a minute here, folks. We're going to get here. What do you think? Should Shane get the ban hammer? We got like 30 or 40 comments with no content. No content at all. So we're going to see if we can't get this guy banned from this Facebook page because he's obviously a radical anti-gunner. I'm going to work on that, guys. Again, send Tim Pawlenty a message on his Facebook page or comment on his Facebook page and demand he fill out his Minnesota gun rights candidate survey. Demand he fill it out. Demand he go on record. Look, if you want to be the next Republican governor of Minnesota, you got to fill out the survey. You cannot just sit here and pretend to be pro-gun, refuse to tell gun owners where you stand, and expect that we're all just going to line up. I don't know about that, guys. I don't know about that. That doesn't sit well with me. If he's going to run for office, if he's going to run for governor, if he thinks he's going to get the pro-gun vote, he needs to fill out his survey. So I'm asking you guys, send him a message right now on his Facebook page. The link is right above here in the description of this video. Send him a message and tell him to fill out his Minnesota gun rights candidate survey. Tell him to apologize for his attack on gun owners, because that's what he did last night on NPR News. Oh yeah, I'm in favor of banning bump stocks. I'm in favor of all this crap. I'm in favor of mental health, gun control legislation. Total madness. Total madness. And we're just totally not accepting it. Not accepting it. Like I said, we had 8 years of Dayton, promising to veto bills, passing radical crap, not just on gun rights. You guys know he's Governor Dayton, for heaven's sake. We can't have this. We don't need a Tim Pawlenty telling gun owners to go pound sand, because here's a guy, he won't put it on paper. Jeff Johnson put it on paper. Jeff Johnson put it on paper. He said, I'll pass stand your ground law. I'll pass constitutional carry law. I will pass bills removing any state gun-free zones. I will veto universal gun registration. I will veto red flags gun seizure bills. That is what Jeff Johnson has promised to do. But Tim Pawlenty, no, not Tim. Not Tim. Don't you guys know? Tim, he's cool now. He's cool. He can go off to D.C., make $10 million or way more. Let us fight to stop gun control this entire time. And then he can just mosey on back into the state and act like he knows how to do what's best for gun owners and for folks in the state. It's absolutely outrageous. Tim's record speaks for itself. His comments speak for themselves. It's insane. It's insane. But you know what? We've been seeing this for years now in the legislature. So-called pro-gun Republicans pandering to the anti-gun left. We've seen this with Speaker Doubt. We've seen this with all kinds. They're just going to pander, and they're hoping to pick up a bunch of the moderate gun controllers to land themselves in, and it's going to land us in a world of hurt. It's going to land us in a world of hurt. I'm trying to go through some of the comment sections here. Some of the comments. Kirsty K. Cantor says, hashtag Tim Commie. True enough. Let's see here. Thomas Barrett says, Ben, it's more than just guns. I like what you stand for totally, but Jeff Johnson is not the guy either. Well, on gun rights, guys, that's what we are. We're a gun rights organization. That's the issue we talk about. On that issue, Jeff Johnson has made his opinions very clear in writing, on paper, promising to fight on behalf of gun owners. Tim Pawlenty is promising to be a middle-of-the-road gun control moderate. That's what he's promising. He's promising that. He promised it on NPR last night. He's promising that by not filling out his survey. So I just want to mention right away, we've gotten messages from a lot of gun owners already saying, I was commenting on Tim Pawlenty's page asking where he stands on gun rights issues, and my comments are being deleted, and a few of them have been banned from Tim Pawlenty's Facebook page. If that does not tell you what Tim intends to do when he makes it, if he makes it as governor, I just don't know what else to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Greg Meyer says Tim Pawlenty is a rhino. He proved it on his last run. Gave the libs everything and turned his back on conservatives. Jackson says, I don't usually trust what politicians say, but I actually do believe Tim Pawlenty when he says he will be weak on defending our gun rights. Yeah, guys, you can always trust them to be honest in their weakness. I mean, if they're outright saying I'm going to pass gun control, we can pretty well count on that being the case. We can count on that being the case. So I think Jackson hit the nail on the head right there. That, yeah, I think we can trust Tim Pawlenty to ban bump stocks, increase background checks, and pass mental health gun control legislation. That's what he's promising to do, and he's refusing to fill out the gun rights survey. And again, I've got a long list. I mean, I can sit here for another 15 minutes and just read off. I've got this long list of Republican governors across America who have passed gun control in the last how many years. The list is long. It goes on and on and on. We've had Republican governors like Mary Fallin in Oklahoma who vetoed constitutional carry. It passed the House. It passed the Senate. Gun owners in Oklahoma want to be able to carry firearms without having to put their name in a government database. Why is that so difficult? But Republican Governor Mary Fallin vetoed constitutional carry. If we get Tim Pawlenty in office, if he's attacking our gun rights, if he's refusing to fill out his survey, if he's refusing to draw a hard line for gun owners, we're going to get a shiv in the ribs. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. So, guys, go to his Facebook page, comment on his Facebook page, and seriously, I'm dead serious. If you can find me a phone number, if you can find me an email address, if you can find me any way to communicate with a live person on the Tim Pawlenty campaign, please send it to me. Please send it to me because nobody that I have talked with has any communication with Tim Pawlenty's campaign. He's running a shadow campaign. He's running the polar opposite of a grassroots campaign. He's saying, screw you, grassroots. I don't need you. I don't need you. He didn't bother to go for the endorsement. He just said, you know what? Forget the party endorsement. I'm going to run right to the primary. I'm going to be governor, whether you like it or not. Sounds an awful lot like Michael Bloomberg now that I think about it. Christopher Sackett says, other than for fun, what are the use of bump stocks? Not anti-gun, but curious. What does it matter? It doesn't matter what their use is. Maybe you like using them. Maybe you don't. I've never shot a bump stock in my life. I've never shot a bump stock in my, I don't know anybody who has. It's the principle of the matter is all that matters. When the NRA decided at the beginning of 2018 that they were going to let Congress, or the ATF as it turned out to be, ban bump stocks, it opened the floodgates to pass gun control. If we get Tim Pawlenty in office and he stands up there going, I think we should ban bump stocks, that's all the left is going to need to ram that crap through the legislature and get that stuff banned. And let me tell you what happens when a bump stock ban bill makes it onto, let's say, the Senate floor. It makes it onto the Senate floor. They're debating whether or not to pass a bill to ban bump stocks. Maybe we care a lot about bump stocks. Maybe we don't. But what happens is Senator Ron Latz stands right up and says, you know what? We're going to amend this bill, and I'm going to turn this bill from a bump stock ban bill, and I'm going to put amendments on it for universal gun registration. I'm going to put an amendment on there for red flags, gun control orders. I'm going to put an amendment on there to increase background checks. I'm going to put an amendment on there to ban suppressors again. I'm going to put, and now we have an all-out gun control fiasco. If we tell them they can have bump stocks, if we say just go ahead and ban it, it will turn into a gun control fiasco, the likes of which we've never seen. That's the problem. That's the problem. It's got nothing to do with bump stocks and everything to do with politics. And so when Tim Pawlenty is up there saying, I'm going to ban bump stocks, what he's saying is the door is wide open. The door is wide open. I'm ready for compromise. Give me the compromise bill. Where do I sign? I'm happy to sign off on gun control. And yeah, it's a done deal. It's a done deal. That is the problem. Walter Schwartz says next will be the size of the magazine. Sure. We've watched this crap happen all across the nation. And Tim Pawlenty is promising to be a weak, cowardly, spineless governor who will not stand up for gun owners. Stephanie Daniels, absolutely right, says it doesn't stop at bump stocks. And so if you're a candidate running for office and you don't draw a hard line in the sand and say no infringements, no compromise, if you do not take a no compromise stance, you've got no place in public office. No place. And Jeff Johnson has drawn a no compromise stance. Jeff Johnson has promised to not be a passive, worthless loser of a governor. He has promised to fight to pass pro-gun reforms and has promised to veto any gun control legislation that lands on his desk if he becomes governor. And if he turns his back on gun owners, well, we have the survey. We can hold him to account. We can call him out and say, you're a big fat liar, if that's what he decides to do. But Tim Pawlenty, on the other hand, hey, if he never fills anything out, if he never makes any promises, then how are gun owners supposed to hold him accountable? Hello from Cottage Grove, says Barry Thompson. Walter Schwartz says, look at California. Sure, absolutely. So guys, again, last night, Tim Pawlenty hops on the NPR station and tells gun owners all across the state he's in favor of banning bump stocks. He's in favor of mental health gun control. He's in favor of encouraging background checks. What the heck does that mean? Encouraging background checks. I'll tell you what that bill looks like. It looks like universal gun registration. It's political naivete, which of course Tim Pawlenty's, he's no naive fool. He knows exactly what he's doing here, but it's absolutely foolishness to imagine that a bill like encouraging background checks would just go through the legislature and come out clean on the other side. It's insane. It's totally insane. We're totally opposed. So guys, thank Jeff Johnson. If you see him, if you talk to him, if you happen to be on his Facebook page, thank him for filling out the Minnesota Gun Rights Candidate Survey. Thank him for taking a principled stance, for being very vocal about what he would do as governor on the Second Amendment. But most importantly, we need Tim Pawlenty to fill out his gun rights survey. It's absolutely unacceptable for him to refuse to do so. Guys, you deserve better. You deserve better in a governor. You deserve more representation. You deserve a staunch defense of the Second Amendment and an advancement of the Second Amendment. And Jeff Johnson's promised to be that. And Tim Pawlenty is saying, go pound sand, gun owners. Screw you. Don't need you. Be sure to line up and vote for me. And all you moderates out there who want some gun control, feel free to vote for me too, because I'm promising to pass gun control. That's what Tim is saying. Go on his Facebook page. The link is right here in the comments section. Oh, it's not in the comment section. Hold on. Hold the horses, folks. Hold the horses. We're going to copy this. Drop in the comments. Control paste. All right. Oh, no, not that one. There we go. Comment is pinned, you guys. Go on his Facebook page. Comment on his Facebook page. Tell him to apologize for his attack on the Second Amendment. Tell him to fill out the Minnesota Gun Rights Candidate Survey. And then when you're done, please, guys, share this video. Share this video with your friends, your family, anybody you know who's pro-gun. They need to know the truth. They need to know the truth. The lesser of two evils is still evil. Tim Pawlenty as it stands right now, is refusing to be a voice for gun owners. He's refusing to be a vote for gun owners. He's refusing to be a defender of gun owners. And again, a governor, he's just another representative of the people. But Tim Pawlenty is refusing to stand up for gun owners if he becomes governor, and that's unacceptable. So go on his Facebook page, just drop a comment, say, fill out the MGR survey now. Fill it out. Or tell him, you know what? I think you're a dirty scumbag. Promising to ban bump stocks, promising mental health gun control, promising to increase background checks. Tell him to apologize for his attack on gun owners. Share this video with your family, your friends. Let's see, last thing here, right on the top of this video in the description is a link to our survey. Feel free to print that off. Feel free to send it to them. They at least have a UPS box listed on the bottom of Tim Pawlenty's Facebook website. You can send it to them. Give it to your candidate and click on that link, scroll to the bottom, and you'll see who has filled out the MGR survey and who has refused to do so because Speaker Doubt is doing his level best to poison the well and stick a shiv in the ribs of gun owners. Check that out. It's up to date on who's filled out the survey. Message Tim Pawlenty. Tell him to apologize. Tell him to fill out the survey. Thank Jeff Johnson for being a voice for gun owners. Thank him for his principled stance. Thank him for filling out his survey. Let's see here. Carol says, Pawlenty or whomever wins best not take away gun rights for honest citizens. Carol, again, this is our chance to hold these people accountable. This is our chance to get our questions answered. This is how it is with politics. It's election season. Their radars are up. They're listening. They're reading polls. They're reading comments on Facebook. They're gauging the public atmosphere 24 hours a day right now to find out, what do I need to do to win my election? And Tim Pawlenty is no difference. Now is our chance to make sure he fills out his survey promising to defend gun owners. Now is our chance. Right now, we have 10 more days before the primary, and we need that survey from Tim Pawlenty, and we'll let you know if we get it and what the results of that survey are. So guys, I'm gonna hop off for right now. Thank you for joining me. Sherry says that Tim doesn't believe in the Second Amendment. What a loser. Couldn't agree more. What the hell's the matter with that guy? Seriously, this is Minnesota. Stand up for once in your life and fight on behalf of gun owners. That's a message to all politicians. If you're running for office, if you don't intend to fight for gun owners, just don't. Just don't run for office. We don't need milquetoast. We don't need losers. We don't need people who are up there to shake hands and pander. We don't need any of that stuff. We need people who are willing to stand up and fight forwards on behalf of gun owners. Everybody in the House, the governor, that's what we need. So guys, thank you for joining me. I love you guys. Have a great weekend. And just right now, click on that link, go to Tim Pawlenty's Facebook page and say, hey, fill out the survey. Fill it out, Tim. Let gun owners know where you stand on these issues, because we already know what he's going to do with bump stocks. Totally insane. Enjoy your weekend. Again, it looks like the rain is starting to slow down outside. That's nice. So share this video. Make sure your family and friends see it, or at least give them a recap, for heaven's sake. Tell them what's happening here. Tell them that Tim Pawlenty is promising to be an anti-gun governor. That's what he's promising to be by refusing to fill out his survey and with his statements on NPR News last night. I'm going to sign off right now. God bless you guys. Have a great weekend. I will talk to you Monday morning. Last little update. We are rolling out program mail in multiple primary races across the state as we speak. We've been rolling them out for days, letting folks know where different candidates stand on gun rights issues. I can't tell you which races. We don't want to tip off the anti-gunners, but we are rolling out a lot of mail and sponsored videos online in targeted districts, making sure gun owners know what's going on. So we're doing whatever we can possibly do to make sure gun owners know where their candidates stand on these gun rights issues. We're not just doing Facebook Live videos. We're doing a lot of different stuff. So if you want to get on board with that, go on our website, minnesotagunrights.org, sign up to be a member, make a contribution, help us pay for the mail, help us pay to boost these posts, help us pay to make sure anti-gunners pay the price for attacking our gun rights. We're going to have more updates for you every single day starting next Monday between now and the primary next, or I guess the Tuesday after next on August 14th. So signing off for now. Have a great weekend. I will see you back here bright-eyed and bushy-tailed on Monday. Have a good weekend, guys.